So I thought I would show you at least how to start this painting. I was going to work on a fancy, tutorial, how to do this and that, and I'm just not as inspired. So I thought I can do this much. I can do little chunks at a time. So I've got the canvas that you guys saw me post to Facebook the other day that I had put outside the trailer. It's really big. I've got this on a board that's quite heavy, so it's not going to blow anywhere. Not that you need that, because you can paint on whatever you want. But so what I did first was put some color on the background of the painting. This helps for 2 reasons, maybe even 3 or 4, who knows. But it was bright white, so it's got quite a glare. So you need to reduce that so you can see what the heck you're doing. And then also, if there's a color that's underneath all your other colors, when you paint, because you're going to get so passionately involved in your painting, that you're going to have some little edges and pieces that will show through. And those are kind of nice to have. And to have another color underneath there to show through is going to help your painting in the end. It'll be much richer. And you can do things like play with the color, like sometimes I'll put a peachy orange underneath something that's going to have a lot of blue, and that kind of electrifies it for me. I don't know if it'll do that for you, but it electrifies it for me. So at any rate, choose a color. A middle tone is probably easiest. This might be a little bit dark, but I've been enjoying pulling color out of dark right now. So that's why I've got this color. And so you'll see I've got all these pink lines. Those are done with some chalk. Just really kind of a rough sketch. I did another sketch prior to doing any of that. I don't know if you can see it. It's only just me here trying to make this happen. So this is my sketch. It's probably going to end up in more of an abstract than something realism, but I spent several hours looking through my friend Dana Northey's beautiful macro photography to get some inspiration for this, seeing as how we're on quarantine and I'm not able to go out into nature like I would normally do, but it was such a treat to be able to use those photos. So I've got this mass here, and it's got quite a few darks in it. I don't know if you can see that. It's got quite a few dark areas. It's really important when you choose your design that you look at where are my darks, where are my lights, how do they balance each other. It's kind of nice to have triangles to represent things. It just makes things easier. You don't want to put anything right smack dab in the middle unless that's your focus. You just want to be super focused and slam it right out there to the people. I prefer to have my viewers just kind of dance around the painting and get led, coming in one way and moving around. So for instance, I know it's really hard to see, but this area here, which would relate to this area here, is really kind of dark, but it's not where I want to have my main focal area. That's going to be here. So, but this area is going to be pushed back. It's going to be lower to the ground. And then I've got these that are going to be on top. So the painting is going to get pulled up with paint from the bottom to the top. Right here. And right here. So it makes kind of a balance there. I used chalk to get a basic idea of what it is that I'm gonna paint here, but as I paint it'll get covered. I may go back in later, and as I get to the next level I'll add some more drawn details that I can then paint on top of. I used to paint, just throw the paint on there, but I found it really helps me keep track of what's going on if I make a sketch. So then, for painting, I have this is my palette. Okay? It's my palette. And what it is, these are the covers. I'm painting with acrylic paint. So I don't have a lot of smell, I don't have a lot of chemicals, it's just acrylic paint. And you use water or a acrylic medium to work the texture of them. And these are, you know, those sushi containers that you can get at the grocery store, like the Stop and Shop or whatever. They fit perfectly in this frame. So this is a frame for a painting or a photograph or whatever. I got it at the thrift store. So it's a frame, and I've taken the glass and I put it to the back so that I can use this as my palette. And it's reusable. I can use it over and over and over. When I'm done, I wet down. It's really good to have a spray bottle. So I'll wet down my paints. When I want to store, I'm putting the cover on like that. And it'll keep, it depends, I mean, it depends on your environment. I'm in Albuquerque right now, so it's pretty darn dry. And so I'll have to check this quite often to make sure that it's got enough moisture. But anyway, I started to say that when your paint dries, you can spray with your spray bottle and use a palette knife that I don't have here, and you can clean up your debris. So anyway, the colors that I have, got a black, a purple, and a dark red starting to move, and a phthalo blue and a cobalt blue. Phthalo blue and cobalt blue are my favorite mixtures. They make a beautiful blue color. And I'm not worrying too much right now at the first layer of this very big painting what my final colors are going to be. I have them in my head, certainly, but oftentimes I will make a palette of just those final colors. But since this is so big, and what I really want to do right now is just lay in my darks, I did basically my darks. I put the white strip down the middle because I use an awful lot of white to kind of bring the dark to the light, you know. Yeah. So the white is in the middle. I use a ton of white paint. But right now I'm just going to use the darks, and I'm going to start filling in according to my sketch. I'm going to put my sketch right here near you. And I'll just do a little bit of this. Oh, I've got some water. I don't really need any medium at this point because I'm really just going to put what, you know, the basics on. The thing about acrylic paint that's really cool is you can paint something, hate it, paint over it. It's not that big a deal, so don't be afraid. So right here, since I already told you that this is my darkest areas, I'm going to go ahead and add some dark paint in there. And you know what? I'm going to get a little wild with the colors. See? Mix them all together because I think that when your painting has a bunch of color, it keeps it alive. The colors don't need to be all that different from each other either. There's a lot to be said for subtlety, subtle relationships. So anyway, I'm gonna start filling in these black places. And my first goal for the painting, which is going to take some time, so I'm not going to sit here and do that with you, but my first goal for the painting is to cover the whole canvas with its base color, the basic colors. You choose your darks, your darks and your middles, and go ahead and just put them inside your sketch. And we'll be back after that's done, or I will be back. I hope you'll join me. Thank you. Bye.